Hey everybody, Josh here for Whiskey Wednesday for Argonaut Wine and Liquor. We are doing our Drink Local edition back at Mile High Spirits, and I am delighted to introduce a really special guest with us today. We have Jackie Zykan of Hidden Barn, who's going to tell us a little bit about your new project and kind of what you guys got going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're on our second batch now of releases, so make sure you come and find it with Argonaut for sure. But this is just a small group of us that really just wanted to get back to doing exactly what we love, which was just enjoying sharing whiskey with each other. So Hidden Barn has started out now sourcing from the Neely family distillery. So we're going to be launching products in series. So series 1 is all coming from the Neely distillery, and it's all sort of following the same common production method. So he's out there using double pot still distillation. There's no column still going into this. He's using wild yeast that's actually been caught from a bucket hanging off of a tree. Oh, wow. Which from where I came from, right, where it was all consistency, this opens up a lot of different doors of creative expression because you never know what you're going to get after that, right? You don't know what yeast you're even like really throwing into that to ferment. So it's coming off that pot still at 127 proof. And that is key to what you're actually going to get flavor-wise in the actual product because you're holding on to a lot of grain notes from that aspect because you're coming off super low. We're going into barrels at 110, so really low barrel entry on that, and the barrels have been used, we're using oak staves that are seasoned for 2 full years. So super, super smoothed out, a lot of tannin loss on that definitely reflects in the final flavor. Everything in that bottle, that's straight from batch to bottle. We throw it through some cheesecloth to get the char chunks out, and outside of that, this is just raw whiskey. So the proof is what that batch yielded, and I'm excited to see what you think of it. So we've poured up some batch 1. That one, I'm pretty sure you guys might be one of the only ones to still have some batch 1 in the entire state. It flew pretty quick, so make sure you hurry down and get your bottle if you want to experience it. This is a 7-barrel blend. The reason for the smaller blends, obviously we're a smaller brand, but also I am a diehard fan of single barrels. I love the unique snowflake element of a single barrel. And the bigger your batch, the more you lose each individual contribution. So we want to keep it nice and small so everybody shows up to play in that mix.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it is cool. We do have a couple cases of batch 1 as well as a bunch of batch 2 that we'll be releasing today. Those are stacked up at the front right now at the store, $72.99 on both of these guys. And the nose on this, it's really interesting, especially because you guys say you do the wild yeast fermentation. It kind of reminds me of some of Peachstreet's older stuff because they do the wild yeast and it gives it this like stone fruity, peachy kind of nose that I really enjoy. It's pretty unique in a lot of whiskeys that you don't get that. So I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, apricot is like one of our main tag elements on these tasting notes for sure. Stone fruit, very, very present. But I'm just like waiting here like to see his reaction. Do you like it? I don't know. Yeah. I hope you do.
No, that's fantastic. I mean, yeah, the nose and the palate really kind of follow. You do get that big stone fruit note. That can kind of blend into almost like a cola nut type of note to me, and that's there too. And both of those are really unique in whiskeys. I mean, there are a few that I know of that have it, and there aren't many others besides that.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. I mean, that's really, really good.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, the nerves can go away then. It's been great. I think the warmth of the alcohol content of it is really, really well balanced. The mash bill's the same across all of these from Series 1, so it's 70% corn, 20 rye, and 10 malted barley. And so you are still going to get some of those high rye nuances to the back end and a nice little bit of spice that follows through with that. But outside of that, though, I mean, it's incredibly unique for a bourbon, which is great because there's a lot of bourbons out there anymore. And so I definitely think that our profile stands out for sure.
Well, and, one of the things you mentioned that I like a lot about this also is each batch is going to be significantly different.
Yes.
You're not blending for a flavor profile or for anything like that. It's just what you guys think is good, which is cool, which is how we do our single barrels too. We don't get any of the specs beforehand. We just pick what we like. And I really like people doing that in whiskey.
For sure. I mean, at the end of the day, it's ultimately just about the liquid and how it tastes, right? So it's not about the marketing behind it or anything like that. It's just sharing a good pour with good people. So we start with like 40 or 50, usually totally blind on it, of just barrel samples, and then I kind of like piece through them in my weird methodology that I have. I I take notes sometimes, but most of the time I don't. I just kind of shift things like a chessboard. In my mind, I know like this one, if it goes to the left, it means it's too much spice. If it goes to the right, I'm going to stop because we'll go on all day long about my weird methods. And then we just whittle it down and try and combine just to get, like you said, it's not a consistent flavor profile. The goal with all of this is balance and its structure, right? So,
Definitely. And you can tell, I mean.
Batch 2.
Yeah.
I don't have a favorite child, but I have a favorite child. Like,
But
let's just
apparently
say
there's
that,
a little bit of a favorite child.
It's more photogenic. I don't know, like whatever. Batch 2 is so rich and robust. If you're a high rye bourbon drinker or even a rye whiskey fan, Batch 2 probably sings to you a little bit more just because of that robust spice coming through.
Definitely spicier. Some more, those stone fruits have moved to a little bit more of a red fruit kind of note in there. And, wildly different, but both fantastic, which is really cool. I mean, like I said, I just really appreciate your guys' methodology of we just like this, and we're going to put it out, that's great. So that's awesome. Like I said, both of these are kind of on sale right now up at the front. We also have a bunch of other single barrels that we've done recently stacked up as well, so those all up at the front. And also wanted to announce our next lottery. So it's going to be for the bottles we have left of this, Michter's 10-year rye. And we have a good amount of it, so we'll be pulling some names at the end of the month. We'll probably be pulling some in our videos for the next few weeks. And come on down and give them a shot. Cheers.
Cheers.